Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of the Million Pound Mission Podcast. It's your buddy Adam, the PhD, the previously heavy dude, and this is episode number 360. We're talking about the Dad Bod Detox with my buddy Cloice Lybarger. This is going to be another lively one, my friends, but I've got a special announcement to take care of first. I'm super excited about this. We're going to start doing a new thing here with our community. And this is a little something I'm calling Giveaway Week. Do I have your attention, my friend? I hope so. So this week, we're going to give away a Keto Brick prize package. Shout out to our friends at Keto Brick, Robert and Crystal Sykes. They are amazing, and they've got a little prize package put together for one lucky winner. Here's how you enter to win. All you have to do is take a screenshot of your most favorite recent Million Pound Mission episode. It might be this one. It might be one of the other ones. That's okay. Share it out on your Instagram story and tag my Million Pound Mission account. That's at Million Pound Mission. So tag us on your Instagram story, share out your favorite episode, and you can do that every single day this week. That's September 14th of 2020 through September 20th of 2020, and you can enter to win every single day. I will randomly choose a winner and announce that on my Instagram account on Monday, September 21st of 2020. Keto Brick prize package, it could be yours. So share it out. I always appreciate it when you guys do that. I wanted to kick a little reward in your direction. So hop on the Instagram, make sure you tag me. Otherwise, I won't know that you did this and I can't enter you to win. All right, my friends, it's time to dive into this episode. And on the show, I know that I've had a few special guests that really specialize in helping moms get healthy. So I figured it was about damn time to send some love to all the dads out there this week. So I'm bringing in my buddy Cloice Lybarger, who has a great name, Cloice. I've never known anybody named Cloice. So he's my first Cloice in my friend bank. But my buddy Cloice is the creator of the Dad Bod Detox system. How awesome does that sound? And he's on a mission to help dads transform from being unhealthy, stressed out weekend warriors to becoming badass, healthy dads. And this dude is awesome. He really is. You can just tell he's genuine and he wants to help people. And he's focusing on the dads. And I think that's super cool. I'm a dad, that's my jam. So in this episode, we talk about the moment that Coach Cloice realized that he was at his rock bottom and he needed to make a shift with his own health. He's got a great transformation story. We talk about how he prioritizes his health even though he's a super busy dad. We talk about what some of the routines or aspects of his program that he's doing today, and he's got a very robust routine. So what is he doing today that he wishes he had been doing from the very start? We discuss what his family interaction looks like when it comes to nutrition, and he gives us one action step for a super busy dad that is ready to make a change. You may not be a dad, but I guarantee you know one, and they may need to listen to this. And this is going to give you some ideas to help out the dads in your life. So without any further delay, you're really going to enjoy this one. This is episode number 360, the Dad Bod Detox with Cloice Lybarger. All right, Coach Cloice Lybarger, what is up, my friend? Welcome to the Million Pound Mission Podcast.
What is happening, Adam? How you doing, buddy? I'm glad to be here.
Well, I'm fired up. I've gotten to know you pretty well over the last several weeks, last couple of months, and I'm excited to share your story. You got a lot of positive energy. You got a great attitude, an awesome story, and you're going to be a great example, not just for all the dads out there, but for everybody out there. We'll talk a lot about dads in this episode, which I'm due for. My people, I've had like 3 mom experts come on and talk about, moms getting in shape after pregnancy and things like that. So we're due for some dad love. And I feel like you're going to bring that for us, right, Cloice?
Well, that is what my mission is here, Adam, is to try to get some dads to start thinking about themselves a little bit.
Yep. Yeah. Well, let's talk about your story a little bit. I like to start off with a little bit of the backstory of your journey. So I want you to tell me about the moment that you realized that you were at kind of that rock bottom moment or that momentum shifting moment where you realized you needed to make a serious shift with your health. Where were you at and what was that like?
Well, I tell you what, Adam, it all came down to basically about 3.5 years ago. It was health and it was also relationships. And from a health standpoint, it was just, I was getting heartburn a lot. Had a couple bouts of H. pylori. And what they were all telling me was basically it was just I was drinking too much and I wasn't really taking care of myself. And that's where I got into the relationships, Adam, is my wife and I were having the same arguments probably on a monthly basis, where I would go over a little bit overboard on the weekends. Adam, I'd like to have fun. And then, she was always the calm, cool, and collected one doing the right thing. And I would probably get a little carried away. And you know what? I got sick of having those same discussions. I was finally understanding that I had to get rid of my ego and start looking at it from a perspective of hers. And she wasn't trying to pick on me. She wasn't trying to beat me down. She was just trying to get me to listen to her and follow through with what she was telling me. So that's when I decided right there, look, I'm going to make a change. And I just decided I was going to try this keto thing out and eliminate alcohol for 30 days and see what happened.
Nice. So you mentioned a hot button word, especially when I'm dealing with like male clients, people that I'm helping that are male, is ego. And male ego seems to be a real thing. And it's hard for us as men a lot of times to accept help. And, especially if it's somebody kind of in our inner circle or somebody that we know, it's like the whole, like, we don't want to stop and ask for directions thing, now that's not a thing as much anymore unless your GPS breaks down, but it's right. Like, it's kind of hardwired inside of us, right? As men, it's a little bit tough to do.
It is. And it's hard to show your emotions. I mean, my wife always said I was kind of flat. I never really showed my emotions. I didn't want to show that maybe that I was upset or I was sad or how I was feeling on the inside. So, I mean, really, I just had to do a lot of self-reflection. I even talked to somebody and kind of got my story out there to them and got their perspective. And that helped me kind of loosen up a little bit. And like I said, get rid of the ego and then just start being there a little bit more for my wife, especially. And then I've always been there for my kids, but I can tell you this, they can see the difference in the last 3.5 years. And so that's why I'm just never going to change back.
Yes. So talk a little about what led up to that point. Was it just kind of the typical story of adding more and more work? I know you're an entrepreneur, like business picked up and you just focused on that. Like what led to the point where you realized you needed to make that change?
Well, I mean, this has been a long time coming, Adam. I mean, it probably started out in college where I was just, or after college, I got my job and I always worked, but then on the weekends, I always felt that was the time where I could cut loose, do whatever I wanted to do because I was working so hard, Adam. And that was what I was telling myself. And, then I got married and had kids and start, doing more stuff, right? And more family stuff. And I still had it in my mind that, hey, this weekend stuff is my time. I could do what I want. And like I said, that just got to be after a period of about 10 or 14 years, my wife was sick of that shit.
Yeah.
And, me too, because I was looking in the mirror quite often being like, look, you need to make a change. You're drinking too much. You're not spending enough time with your family. But I was never a guy's guy. Like I always hung out with my family. We were always there together at the pool. But it's like wherever we went, our little group of friends, we just like to sit around and drink beer on the weekends. And, it'd be 6-8 hour sessions. And you know how that can turn out not great. So that's what kind of led up to this. And I just, I just got tired of having the same conversation in the mirror and I just needed to make a change.
So one of the things I love about your transformation is that like, it's an awesome physical transformation, but also like mentally and emotionally, you've made a ton of progress over the last 3.5 years, but legit, like I've seen your before and after pictures and it's like, you have that typical dad bod, like that's a thing. And like the typical, guy that's got a few kids working pretty hard, like that's kind of what they typically look like. And now you are freaking shredderized, man. Like it is lean, your abs look like a road map, like you got veins running up and down. So like you've really, really transformed. Like what was the first step that you took when you decided, okay, things are going to change? Where did you go initially with those first steps?
The first steps were straight up keto. I bought a program similar to ours, probably not near as in depth, but it was just a keto program to kind of give you the blueprint on what to follow. And basically that's where I started out at. It wasn't mindset. It was none of that. It was no lifestyle. I was just trying to lose weight and see what it felt like not to drink for alcohol for 30 days. And so that's where I focused on. And And, obviously I made mistakes along the way. I actually lost too much darn weight at first, Adam, and got too skinny. And, nobody wants to be the skinny, frail looking guy.
Yeah.
So, so that's where I started, was with the nutrition part of it, and just upping my fats, getting rid of all the grains and the bad oils and all that kind of stuff. And that in itself got me to 75% of where I'm at today.
Nice. And then, like we've kind of alluded to a little bit here, you made some major mental shifts. When did that started to take effect, and how did you start to kind of massage that in to, like, with your routines and your self-development, filling your cup up first as a busy dad, as a busy entrepreneur? That's hard to do. That pie chart of our time gets divvied up in a whole lot of different directions with work and friends and family and softball practice and this and that and the other. So where did that come in when you're like, all right, I need to work on my inner game as well?
Okay. So that probably all came into play once I started getting into all these different podcasts I've been listening to. I never listened to podcasts before keto. And somehow along the line, I know. So what happened was I just got a good handful of them, and I was listening to all these leaders in the world, and, all these type of guys you interview. And most of them were getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning and doing these routines. And I'm like, well, hell, I maybe I need to try that out, because I'm a busy guy. And by it comes afternoon, used to be my time to go work out every day after work, And I was just finding that I was always finding excuses not to make that happen. And so that's how that all happened. And the mind frame part of it is, once I commit to something, I go all in. It's just getting me to commit. I knew that. My wife knows that. So once she was able to get me to listen to her and commit to making a change, I just go all in. And, to this very day, I'm still going all in. Every day I'm thinking of how I could talk to these dads and try to get them to see what I saw when I knew I had to make a change. And a lot of guys, I just don't think they realize that maybe they need to make a change, or if they do, they don't know where to turn to make a change. And when you tell them lifestyle change, that really throws a monkey wrench in the program, because, you're going to take away. So one of the things they hold dear, and a lot of that is sitting around drinking beer with their buddies.
Right. The old weekend warrior situation. And
well, that was it. You know what? But here's what I could tell the dads is, those guys, they're not going anywhere. Hopefully they'll jump on the train with you and you guys can do it together. But those same, my best friends that I did still drink beer with to this day from time to time, they're still there. They haven't gone anywhere. So you're not missing out on anything. You're just going to remove yourself from the situation for 30 days just to see how you feel. And I think they would be surprised. I know I was extremely surprised about how clear my vision got in life, and that I started to realize that a lot of the problems in my life weren't the people around me. It was the guy that I was staring at, So that's that's the bottom line.
What's that saying? It's like, if you feel like everyone around you is being an asshole, you're probably the asshole. Like that. I feel like that may have applied. Not necessarily an asshole, but just like, if we are pointing that finger of blame outward, like everyone else is the problem, we're probably the problem, is what I'm trying to say, right?
And that's just it. Like I said, that ego got in my way of my vision for a long time, and I'm just lucky I have a wife that put up with me long enough and saw what she sees now, and I listened, and she pushes me out of my what's the word I'm looking for? Comfort zone.
Yep.
All the time in all areas of my life. To this day, and she does it on purpose because she knows I get comfortable rather easy. So that's what I really appreciate, that part of it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like a big part of your momentum, your personal momentum, comes from you locked in on your why behind why you're doing all of it. And that's where a lot of men struggle, because like you said, we don't like to think about the emotional components of things. We just like goal, Adam set goal and Adam achieve goal, lose 20 pounds. And then we let it go because there's nothing substantial behind it. So talk about that a little bit, like the emotional, like backbone behind your transformation journey, having that big why that motivates you. That's huge for you. So let's dive into that a little bit.
Okay, so my why all came into as a man. I think your morals and the way you view life just changes as you get older. I like to think guys get better with age. At least I know I have. And I was just looking at my life and wanted my kids to look up to me and model what I'm doing. And with the weekend warrior lifestyle, that's not quite the model I was wanting to give them to follow. So that's kind of that. I had to start from the ground up and recreate this whole new me. And I just remember sitting in the car one day. I think me and my daughter were going to a softball tournament, and I think we were talking about me and what I was doing, and all that kind of stuff. And I remember when she told me, "Dad, I just love you so much more." She's like, "I've always loved you, but I love you so much more the way you are now than the way you were, back in the day." And that that shoot, dude, when your daughter tells you that, and I think she was probably 13 at that time, that just really cemented in stone that, I got an older daughter who's 22, and she kind of grew up with that me, and I was always there for her, but you got to make a change. And so I wanted to be there and be a better dad to my middle daughter and my son, who's 9 years old. And certainly for him, I didn't want him to see his dad hanging around, drink a beer for 8 hours at a time on a weekend, every weekend, and think that's the most important thing to me, because it's certainly not.
Yeah. And you're somebody that I know you've always been there for your kids and your family, but with that why, like, you're thinking ahead and like, I want to continue to be there and be there at an even better level. That's the key. Like, if you stroke out and die when you're 50 years old, that's, what does that world look like for your kids? And you are somebody that's really, you've realized that. I've talked about this story a few times on the show and when I get interviewed on other shows, but back in the olden days when I was a gym owner, I had a guy come through that needed to get his shit together a little bit and like wasn't in great shape. And he committed to do an 8-week boot camp. On day 3, he said, I don't have time to email you every day. I can't do this. Like, he said he didn't have time to email me his report every day. I can't do this. Died of a heart attack 6 weeks later. Dead.
Yeah.
Gone. Family, kids. Like, that story sucks. Like, I don't want that to happen to anybody. And I'm not saying I would have saved that guy's life, but I would have loved to have a shot at it. I would have loved to have that impact on changing that guy's life pattern. And maybe we avoid that heart attack. Maybe we don't, but it's just, I always talk about, like, you got to find your why before your why finds you. That guy's why came calling and he didn't survive it. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. And so my why ties into that a little bit. Mine wasn't so much, that I was going to have a heart attack or anything like that. My health hadn't got that far out of control. But what was happening at home from time to time was I would have some kind of dumb accident or something would occur. Obviously, when I've been drinking a long time, and it was a couple close calls a couple times, and I just had to bite the bullet and like, look, man, I am not the party animal I think I am when I was in the 20s. And, it's an ego thing. Yeah, it's the ego thing. And there's just nothing more to it than that.
It's funny. We have kind of an inside friend joke now where if you guys are listening on the podcast, you can't see Cloice, but if you guys have ever watched the movie Remember the Titans, there's a character on there named Sunshine, who's like the quarterback with the long flowing hair. Cloice looks exactly like Sunshine, and I call him Sunshine. So I could see, like, just the way you look, like, people are going to expect you to be the life of the party because you're Sunshine, right?
Oh, I've always that's yeah. I was always trying to be the life of the party. If I wasn't, I was throwing parties. I mean, I grew up in my mom was a big entertainer, so I kind of grew up in that kind of scene where entertain. You have big house parties. I mean, I was throwing all kinds of damn parties all the time.
Yeah. Well, you certainly have made a huge shift, and I'm interested. Anybody that's been on a major transformation journey, mentally, physically, emotionally. What is something as far as like your routines? And I know you've got a lot of really solidified, healthy routines and processes in your life now. What is one of those things that you wish you had done from the very start, that day that you decided to change your lifestyle? Like, what's something that you're doing now that you wish you had done 3.5 years ago when you kicked this whole journey off?
Well, I wish I had done this 20 years ago, but it's meditation, which, yeah, which, man, I used to be one of those guys who would chuckle and laugh and make fun of those people who even mentioned the word meditation because I was too cool. I didn't know, I can't. Well, I would tell you I couldn't meditate because I couldn't slow my brain down, which is exactly why you need to meditate, right? I mean, and it's just so wild out how that word is thrown out there now. And meditation means something different to everybody. So that would be it. Meditation. When I got this, I can't remember my app now, but I got an app and I've been addicted to it ever since. Every morning while I'm sitting in the sauna, I got a couple of meditations I listen to every single day since I started this process with the meditation. I can't get rid of it because it's my first one and I love it. And it's like an abundance one. And then I just enroll in all these different courses you can take that just give you a different aspect, a different way of looking at things as far as compassion and empathy and all these kind of things that a lot of guys haven't thought, at least I know I didn't think a lot about at all. Yeah. My wife was always telling me that I wasn't very empathetic or I wasn't compassionate. I'm thinking to myself, but I am, but I just didn't know how to show it, I guess, Yeah. So I think the meditation, that helps that kind of stuff.
Yes. So what's the rest of your morning routine look like? You mentioned infrared sauna, meditation. What else are you doing?
Cold showers, a lot of those, cold showers every single day. I don't even take hot showers anymore. And I'm getting ready to get a freezer chest and convert that into a cold plunge like our buddy Brad. Yes.
Oh man. I haven't bought into I've done cold showers. I hate being cold, man. Like it is not my jam for some reason. I'm just if there's one thing I'm a total wimp about, like it's the cold thing. I don't know, but
you gotta ease your way into it, Adam. Like I don't even, see that's what's happening now is these cold showers are not even cold anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't lose my breath, none of that anymore. So I'm trying to take it to the next level. Like as a matter of fact, with the meditation thing right now, I'm in the Wim Hof class for 30 days, which I already know a lot about him, but I've never taken the class. The guy is amazing. So so that's a big thing I do. Walking every morning. I'm taking my dog on a walk, and such an underestimated thing is walking and breathing. So when I'm walking, I'm just not walking anymore. Now I'm doing breath work when I'm walking, and all the stuff I've learned from podcasts, just from listening, and man, it makes a world of a difference.
Yeah. And you're learning how to multitask effectively. So multitasking and like having to actively think about two different things at the same time, that's not productive. But if you're washing the dishes and listening to a podcast, or sitting in the sauna and meditating, or walking the dog and listening to podcasts, or walking the dog and doing breath work, if there's one mindless thing and then you do something that is mindful, that's a great way to multitask. And I think, everybody, not just dads, should be taking advantage of that.
Oh, I agree. I mean, I do this. Yeah. Just like you say that, like when I'm cooking, I'm usually got headphones on. I'm either listening to meditation music and just flowing my own thing, because I'm usually cooking multiple things at the same time, or, even yard work, whatever it is, I'm listening to this. It's usually not Metallica anymore unless I'm with my daughter. That is something we enjoy together, though. Metallica.
Oh, daddy and daughter Metallica time.
Oh, it's awesome.
That's how it should be. All right. Did you sing her is that because you would sing her the lullaby when she was a little baby, like, hush little baby, don't say a word?
No, but that's one of her favorites. I should have done that. Damn it. But no, she gets her whole music thing from her mom, and she's hardcore into music. She plays guitar and all that stuff. And now she's starting to play Metallica, so she's making her dad happy.
Nice. Well, all right. So you've mentioned cooking a couple of times. This is a hot button topic with a lot of men. Like they don't cook. Like I've had a guy that I was working with, and his excuse for not being able to follow my nutrition program is that his wife wouldn't make him the right food. And I was just like, what? Like the year 1950 called and they want their attitude back. Like that was, I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
leave it to Beaver.
Yeah. Like you need to be able to cook for your own damn self, And so talk about your development of cooking and getting involved in that, and cooking healthy, especially how has that developed as you've transformed your lifestyle?
Well, I mean, cooking's always been a big part of my life. I've been super passionate about cooking. Back when the St. Louis Rams were here in town, we would go down and tailgate, 5 o'clock in the morning at them, make sure we got our good spot.
That's hardcore.
We were hardcore. And so cooking's always been a thing. And I've always been the cook in my family too. And so how it's changed though since this whole thing has happened is it's gotten much simpler. I used to be following these intricate recipes with 20 different ingredients. Well, now it's all been simplified because I just don't have time to be honest with you, unless it's the weekend. So I love the air fryer. I love the pressure cooker. I don't use a whole lot of tools. I mean, we'll use a skillet, and that's about it. Maybe a blender to make some sauces, but that's one thing I could give the dads for sure is unlimited, easy to follow recipes that you don't have to have any skill for. I mean, literally everything is probably 5 ingredients or less. And then you can get killer sauces already made through Primal Kitchen and a couple other companies.
Yeah.
And you don't need anything more. And real salt, Redmond's real salt. I mean, if I'm really lazy, I just throw that on my steak and call it a day. It's killer.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. It's delicious.
Just keeping it simple.
Yes. Yeah. Simple is the key, and just getting a few base, recipes under your belt, some go-to ones. If you're, Cloice got me hooked on the air fryer. Like, I can't believe I've never owned one of these things. And I'm probably using it at least once for my family and once or twice for me. And it's amazing. Like steaks, I got to tell you, as a keto carnivore person, getting a chuck eye steak, so it's a higher fat content than even like a ribeye, a chuck eye steak in the air fryer, it's the bomb. Like, and not a super thick cut, and just like 6 minutes on each side. And that is my steak of choice. And it's like $4 a pound. It's super cheap.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to try that one out.
So that's
it's like getting a raise.
Fan. Yeah, exactly. So now, and for those of you that want to dive a little deeper on the whole cooking thing, Cloice is doing a Sunday cooking show on his Instagram channel. He does it live. It's 6 p.m., right? 6 p.m. Central? Is that?
6 p.m. Central. Yeah, you got it.
6 p.m. Central on his Instagram, which is Dad Bod Detox. Super easy to remember. I'll put that in the show notes as well. But Dad Bod Detox. Cooking, it's Cloice's Kitchen. That's what you're calling it, right?
Cloice's Kitchen right now.
Cloice's Kitchen. So I think that's an awesome resource for anybody, but especially like, this is a dad who's super busy and he's got a damn cooking show on Sundays on Instagram, and just tune in once a week and find something new that you guys can toss in your own regimen there. And I think that you're going to help a lot of people with that one.
Well, I mean, hey, and my goal is always everything's going to be 30 minutes or less, because unless I'm doing like a chuck roast or some kind of roast, that you just throw in the oven for 3.5 hours at 325. Well, then everything else is just got to be 30 minutes or less, because everybody's hungry. I don't get to start cooking it until like 5:30 or 6. Everybody wants to eat at my house at 6:30, Adam. So, I'm limited, and everything I cook turns out great in that amount of time. So,
yes,
Dad, there's no excuses not to cook. I'm telling you this.
Coach Cloice says so. So what's the family dynamic look like around nutrition? Is everybody kind of just eating what you put on the plate, or are there some variations there? Like, what a lot of couples especially struggle with, not everybody's on the same page, or there's one person that's not so healthy and the other person is trying to get healthy. There's a lot of friction there. So what does your family situation look like?
Well, I mean, this is pretty basic here too. So I'm kind of where you are right now. I'm kind of the carnivore keto guy right now too. So basically, the kids and my wife eat whatever meat I cook up. Not a big deal. They love it. And then they eat more vegetables than me. So I just, roast some vegetables or cook up some sweet potatoes. They love your sweet potato little cake recipe.
Good.
You know what I mean? So yeah, the kids, I still allow them to have their snacks and their treats, because they're, like you say, they're going to find the carbs no matter what. So basically with my son, he is required to eat, I think it's like 4 ounces I give him, maybe 3 or 4 ounces of steak, which is plenty for that guy.
Yep.
And then once he gets done with that, he can eat whatever vegetables if he wants that. But if he doesn't want to eat them, I'm not going to freak out on him. And then, he could have a snack. My daughter, she eats anything I throw at her. Yeah, her favorite is a 6-ounce filet mignon. So I'm setting somebody.
Oh man,
I'm setting somebody. Somebody's going to be hurting when they take her to dinner.
Yep. That's what I was just thinking. Well, that's awesome that everybody's kind of on the same page, that you guys have a vibe and an understanding, and there's not a lot of like, a lot of families have like judgy feelings and stuff going back and forth, especially with the people that are married and stuff like that. So that's good that you've made that transition. What if there's somebody listening that is struggling with that a little bit, where they're having a hard time getting their whole family on board? Like what kind of advice or just a tip that you would give that person that's listening in?
I would probably just tell them, hey, you just got to be sincere to your family members and tell them, look, you're making a commitment to yourself. You're trying to make a change here, and you'll be willing to cook them, whatever else they would want besides the protein that you're cooking. But that they just, I think you just have to ask them for your support. I mean, I think anybody that loves you, right, and they want you to better yourself, and that's what you're trying to do, I would think you'd have to have a bigger conversation if they weren't willing to back you up, and it probably doesn't have to do with food.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I love the way that you frame that, because if you want to if you are trying to gain the support of your friends and or family members, if you frame it as you asking them for help, then that is going to go over way better than you laying down the law and being like, kind of coming from like a more of a needy, judgy position of, even with your friends, if you're like, listen guys, so I'm doing this keto carnivore thing. We're not ever going to be able to go to these certain restaurants because of blah, blah, blah. That's one conversation. But if you go, hey guys, I'm doing this keto carnivore thing. I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need your support. I need to do this for the next 30 to 60 days because I got to get my health in order. And if, I'm just, any support you can throw my direction, much appreciated. That's way different, right?
Way different. And, any friends I've had friends come to me and I've kind of guided them along their way. And, when you drop 40 pounds and you start to look different, people start to wonder what it is you're doing. And what I really found is, though, you just can't come up, like, you cannot present this kind of stuff to people because they will get offended. You have to actually wait for them to come to you and ask you the questions. Even like with a business like this, it's like, I haven't told a whole lot of people because I don't want to offend anybody.
Right. It's
a touchy situation. So, once you get on the 1 Million Pound mission, your message is out there, right?
Yes, sir.
And, on this live action. And, we'll see what happens. I'm really to help anybody that wants it, whether if I know you or don't know you. And, we can make some changes. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I like to use the obstacle course race analogy, where you're somebody that you've gone over that, you've gone through all the mud and crawled under the barbed wire, and you've made it over that big, climb over obstacle. Now you're reaching your hand over and you're ready to pull some dads over. You're ready to help as many people as possible. And you've got an awesome free resource that I'm super excited to talk a little bit about. It's a 7-day Dad Bod Detox program, and it's free. And I'll put the link in the show notes, but it's just dadboddetox.com, right?
You got it. Yeah, that's it. And that's a great little program. I mean, it will give you some really good momentum, and it will make you start to realize, just by making small little changes, just the difference in the way you will feel. A lot of guys, I don't think, or a lot of people in general, just don't know what it feels like to feel awesome, because we are so trained to settle for mediocrity, and, heartburn is just normal, right? That's what you do. And everybody farts all the time. No, you don't. I mean, it's insane. And what we are getting used to.
If we can make an impact on the dad fart segment just alone, that one measurable, if we can, just make sure that the dads aren't stinking the whole family out of the house with dad fart syndrome, then it's a mission well.
It's made a difference. It's made a difference in my house, I can tell you.
And that's true. Like, it's weird. Like, I used to be that guy all the time. Like, oh, I'm so bloated, I'm so gassy. And now it's like, you can't sneak one out of me, man. There's nothing. I'm a digestive machine.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, I used to blame it on the whey protein shakes. It wasn't the whey protein shakes. It was that my stomach was all jacked up.
Yep.
Once you start healing your gut, good things can happen.
Yep. So back to your amazing free resource. We got off on a dad fart tangent.
Oh yeah. Whoops.
Hashtag dad fart. We might name that the dad fart episode.
Yes.
So I won't do that to you, Coach Cloice. So what kind of resources do they have with this? It's free. It's 7 days. They get nutrition, exercise. What's all dialed into that?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're basically going to try to get these guys to eat 150 grams of carbs or less, or maybe it might be 100. We're getting them to get up in the morning. I got seven routines, 10-minute routines, body weight routines. They're very doable. Everybody, depending on what your fitness level is, is how hard you push. But I just want you to get your heart rate up, get used to moving a little bit in the morning, get the juices flowing. And from there, your day is normal day. We're just looking to get maybe about a half hour of me time before everybody wakes up and see what it feels like. I mean, it's an amazing thing.
Yes. And
I mean,
there's a great quote. I believe it's by Martin Luther King Jr. He talks about you don't have to see the entire staircase. You have to be willing to take the first step. And I think this is a great first step for a lot of dads out there. So if you dads are listening in, or if you if you know of any dads in your life, dadboddetox.com, I would highly recommend checking that out. Get plugged into that free resource because I think it's needed out there. So along those lines, where can people find you? Obviously, dadboddetox.com. Where are you hanging out on Instagram?
At Dad Bod Detox.
Boom.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's
Boom.
easy.
That's it.
Cloice is super hungry to interact. Like he's somebody, like I said, I've got to know pretty well over the last several weeks and months here. So hit him up on Instagram, follow him, check him out in Cloice's kitchen on Sundays at 6 p.m. Central. This is a good dude. So plug in and enjoy the Cloice awesomeness. Now, Cloice, you listen to the show, I like to end it with some momentum for our listeners. So let's say that a dad is listening in. Let's say they kind of fit that prototype of where you were at about 4 years ago. And they are now realizing, okay, for things to change, I need to change. And you could sit them down, look them in the eye, grab them by the shoulders and give them one little motivation tip or one piece of advice to get them motivated and going. What would you say to that person?
This is going to shock you, but I would tell them to breathe and walk on a daily basis. I would say to learn how to breathe correctly, little meditation while you're walking, and walk. Just do that every day for a few weeks. Get used to doing it every morning for 10 minutes and every night for 10 minutes. And from there, we'll just start attaching habits, stacking habits.
Nice.
That's what I would tell them.
Beautiful. It's simple. And that's what we need, especially as men. Like sometimes we got to keep it simple and we just have to take that first step on that first stair step and then see where the journey goes from there. So Coach Cloice, man, I'm super proud of you. I'm excited to see where your journey goes as in your coaching career here and all the people you're going to be able to impact with Dad Bod Detox. So glad that you made some time for us here and now you've contributed to the $1 Million Mission. I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, that's great. I really appreciate being here. It's I can't believe I'm here staring at you doing the podcast. It's pretty cool.
All right, guys. So you know what time it is. It is all about implementation at this point. So what is that one thing that really sparked that idea in your mind of like, oh, I need to do that, or I need to implement the infrared sun, or I need to breathe and walk? Like, what's that one thing? Set your implementation alarm on your phone for 24 hours from right now and take action on that one thing and get out there and own it. Every meal, every workout, every day. I will see you on the next episode. All right, podcast fans, just a gentle reminder that this is giveaway week. If you are interested in winning our Keto Brick prize package, all you have to do is go to Instagram, post in your Instagram stories, take a screenshot of your most recent favorite $1 Million Mission episode, share it on your Instagram story, and tag our account at $1 Million Mission. You can enter every day this week. That is September 14th, 2020 through September 20th, 2020. And I will draw and announce the winner on Monday, September 21st. So you know how good those keto bricks are, and you want them for free, your favorite price. So join the free contest and get your chance to win every single day this week. Thanks for sharing it out.